Hello guys, I'm back from another video, and today we're talking about what if Deku was reincarnated into Genshin Impact. So in the last video we talked about how after, Izuku left and decided to go into a little village so he can, find a blacksmithy so he can, make himself a brand new weapon for his, brand newly acquired pyro element. He would basically meet a large-looking man, which apparently his name was Arataki Ito, and apparently he owns a gang. And his gang is known as the Arataki Gang. After meeting him and also asking him where, the nearest, blacksmith he is, he would basically arrive there and would basically ask for a weapon. In this case, two sides that, that literally radiate some of the energy of pyro, which he's obviously going to, how do I say this? Yeah. He's basically going to imbue them just by himself. So, after basically asking the specifications of this specific weapon, he would basically leave. But when he was, about to leave, he would see Kujou Sara fighting against, fighting against, Ito, and let's just say Ito is currently being bodied. So, as Ito was basically getting bodied, he was basically defeated, and because of this, she was about to grab his vision, but thankfully, Izuku came in and would basically try and stop her by using a cloak, which is strangely almost resembles, sort of resembles the Akatsuki cloak. But either way, he would basically start fighting, Kujou Sara, which, let's just say, Izuku would basically defeat her. So, after defeating her, she would basically escape, as Izuku would basically give back his vision. And basically after hearing that, this is apparently Izuku Midoriya, aka, the boy that's gonna be forced to marry, a certain ice queen. Not really ice queen, but more like electro queen. He would basically start to laugh, including his gang, basically telling him to at least, man up and try to marry her. But he would basically tell them that he's sort of, has a girlfriend already. So, after leaving the village, he would basically, start flying away thanks to the help of a dragon which he created from, both, how do I say this? Yeah, both Animo and, Geo energy, but he was being followed, or more like being, watched. And after landing down on the, onto the dirt road, he would basically look over and would see Glass Yora. As she would basically start spouting out, mostly about, making him hers, and instead of calling him Izuku, instead he's calling him Rostam, and let's just say he was pretty much uncomfortable with it after hearing the whole Rostam part. Especially with the whole, forcing him to, forcing him to basically marry her part, especially that part. And so, Izuku would basically escape and make it back home. So, when she saw this, she would basically, say to herself that she's going to, find a way to make, Izuku hers no matter what. And so, when Izuku arrives back, we basically ended off the episode right there. So yeah, this is going to be the end of this explanation, and so, let's talk about what happens next. So, as Izuku would basically make it back, he was basically sweating. It's basically like, straight after that episode, like the last one. So, as Izuku was basically walking around, he would see Lumine, just with his friends. More specifically, Kazuha, which you would just look over and say, "Wait, Kazuha?" You would basically look at, Kazuha as you would say this. "Oh, hey, it's been a while." As you would say this, "Kazuha, where have you been? And wait, what happened to you? You seem to have a lot of scars." As he would say this, "Well, let's just say as he would start to explain. Apparently, while he was gone, Lumine and him were basically, going around and decided to go to, to the, how do I say this? To, Raiden Shogun's, palace. And after, a bit of battling, Kazuha would activate the vision of his old friend. And let's just say, oh boy, Miss let's just say Miss Lightning Queen is wanting some revenge, and so decides to, try and find Kaza no matter what, including Labine, so she can, you know, A, either convince her so she can, I guess you could say do a mutual relationship for both, both of them and also Izuku, or just kill her outright and just capture Izuku willy-nilly. Yeah, after hearing all of this, Izuku was pretty much pissed off, as the meme would say this. Don't worry, she didn't do anything to me, I swear. As Izuku would say this. Okay. Anyway, so what about, as one of them would say this? Oh, Kikomi, well, she's currently sleeping right now. Apparently she's pretty tired after the whole paperwork thing. As Kaze would say this. Yeah, just let her rest for now. As for Goro, Goro was basically there just like, tending to some others' wounds. Because apparently some of the members of the rebellion decided to join them and tried to fight, Kujou Sara and her gang. And let's just say their asses were grass, and let's just say they were about to get mowed. So, they're currently, resting up with the help of, Goro basically acting as like a medic. As for, currently with, what's her face? Yeah, Yoimiya and also, Miss Sleepyhead, if you don't know, is, specifically Sayu. Currently, they're just, like, doing their own missions currently. So, as Izuku was basically hearing all of this, he would say, that sounds rough. As Lumin would say this. How about you? It was already, when I woke up, I didn't see you last time, so I thought you were, captured or something. That's why we decided to try and, fight Kujou in the first place. Sort of. As Izuku would say this. Oh, I was going to a smithing village so I can get my new weapon for myself. I mean, sort of, he would basically say. As she would say this. I see, but you seem to be, as she would point at some of the bruises that he had, as he would say this. Oh, gone to run in with Kujou and the rest of her gang, as one would say this. Really? So how did you, said, Lumine, when she was kind of worried, as Izuku would say this. Don't worry, I'm fine. And I also ran into La Signora, as one would say this. You mean one of the Fatui Harbingers? As, he would basically nod as you say this. Yeah, she was totally scary. More specifically, crazy, he would say, as one of them would say this. Crazy how, said, one of them. Specifically, what's his face? Yeah, Kazuha, as you'd say this. Well, first of all, she told me that she's going to, literally force me to marry her. The second, she keeps calling me Rostam instead of Izuku, which I don't know exactly why. And third, she almost tried to, do unconsensual things with me. You probably know what it means. In your minds. Like you viewers, you probably know what it means. As all of them were just like, jaw dropped. As one of the rebellion, one of the, rebels would say this. I'm kind of jealous of you for basically for almost getting raped by that most beautiful girl. As you would go like, oh yes, do you really want to get, unconsensually, fricked by that girl already? As you would basically just glare at him, as you would say, no, but I would love to. As you would say, Sims, he would basically say to himself, like say to himself in his mind, as Izuku would say this. Anyway, does any of you want to, get some sleep? Sort of. One of them would say this. Yeah, I'm a bit tired anyway, said Lumine, as all of them would agree, and so they would basically go into their little, sleeping quarters, and so all of them would basically fall asleep. So, when it was finally morning, sorry about that, Izuku would basically tell Lumine that he's gonna be going to, the, blacksmith village. So, after, leaving a note this time, instead of, outright leaving, he would basically, start flying away on a large dragon made out of, made out of energy, more specifically, Animo, and also Geo energy. So, While he was flying, he would basically land on a nearby, forest clearing and would basically, dismount the dragon as it would disappear, turning into nothing more than rocks and some simple air. So, as he would arrive at the village, he would see some of the villagers, celebrating a little festival, which he was, quite interested in. After hearing some of the villagers talking, apparently this specific celebration is the celebration about, how Raiden Shogun was ruling this, village for, or at least ruling this nation for about unspecified years. Let's just say about, thousands upon thousands of years. So after hearing all of this, you would think, yeesh, this Raiden Shogun girl sounds more like a hassle to me. He would basically think in his mind, as after a while of walking, he would see Ito, as Ito would say this. Oh, hey, Izuku! As he would walk over to him, as he would say this. Hey, it's been a while, so how have you, as he would say this. Pretty well. So, I'm just here to go back and just, get my, weapons. By the way, it's going to be like, when they came here, it was like, at least a week now. So yeah, just imagine it like that. Sorry about that. God dang it. So, as Izuku, was talking to Ito's, one of his gang members would say this. Hey Ito, we got the sake! As one of them was currently drunk, as one of them would say this. You drank all of the sake, you idiot! As when Ito heard that, he would say, you drank all of the sake? You would basically look at him with an angry tone, as, some of their members would basically start panicking, as Izuku would say this. Well, this is certainly an interesting, interesting type of way to, celebrate a festival. Sorry about that, god dang it. So, as... What the... God dang it. Sorry about that, it was just some weird ass noises. I thought it was like, something broken. But it was just my, cousin almost broke the tiles. Anyway, so as Izuku would basically, say that, he would just say, anyway, I should probably go to the, blacksmith shop. After saying goodbye to Ito, Izuku would arrive at the shop, which was currently, sort of empty, except for the girl that he met last time. As Izuku would say this, hey, I'm here for my order. As one of them would say this, specifically the girl. You're here, here. She would basically grab a large box. After opening it, he would see, just imagine this, but except without the symbol, and is just, black and white. As you say this, not bad. He would basically start swinging the, the side, similar to, Dante when he was using, the, King Cerberus nunchucks, just like in Devil May Cry. So, after a while of trying them out, she would say, whoa, impressive. How did you learn how to do that? As you'd say this. I just learned that on the fly. As you'd say, really? Huh. You certainly are a great warrior. As Izuku would say this. Thank you. Anyway, as you would start, channeling a bit of, a pyro energy, as the symbol would appear, as it would start glowing a fiery red. As when she saw this, she would say, what did you do to her? As he would say this. Don't worry, I just infused it with a bit of pyro energy. As she would say this. Wait, you're a vision holder? She would basically say, as she would try to, to alert some of the, alert some of the guards, as you would say this. Sorry, but I would rather not, let you, try and alert some of the guards. So I would rather if you, try not to tell anybody, got it? And besides, as you would grab a few, Mora, as you'd say this. I can definitely pay you, as you would grab like a few dozen Mora, as you'd say, deal, but, give me a few more. About 500 more. As you would basically grab a, 500 more Mora, as you say this, deal. And so she would basically leave with the, the amount of money that she has now. So, after leaving, Izuku would say this, alright, bye. As she'd say, bye. So, as Izuku and her left, Izuku would basically start to, go around town, as he would basically, try out some of his weapons, which is currently, still flaring with fire, as he would basically put the sides on his side, or more specifically, under his coat of the sides, basically like this. Yeah, he would basically, start to leave. But before he can actually leave, you would start to hear the sounds of somebody, fighting. So, as Izuku would basically, jump towards the roof, he would basically look over and would see Kujou Sara fighting against, a few bandits, as, a few treasure hoarders. Kind of. Let's just say they're just like regular old bandits and not actual treasure hoarders. As they were saying, oh ho ho, it seems that we got a pretty one, boys. As one would say this, yeah, and it seems to be Kujou Sara. Ugh, she's definitely gonna pay a lot. As Kujou Sara would say this, get away from me, she would basically say, as one would say this, come on, just let us have a bit of fun. And besides, you don't have any weapons, including your damn bow and arrows. Even though you're able to use your vision, but unfortunately you can't use it right now. As one of them would say this, yeah. As one of them would grab a little axe from his, pouch, as you say, you're gonna be good to help us through the night, he would basically say. Even though Izuku, was a bit mad at her for almost trying to, hurt Ito, and almost, forcing him to basically marry, her, aka, Miss, Electro Archon over there. But he doesn't want to see anybody getting hurt. Especially people getting, unconsensually, doing intercourse with each other. Yeah. So, as Izuku basically jumps in, he would say, I would rather not let you, touch this woman right now. As one of them would say this, who the hell are you? As all of them would pale, knowing that this person in front of them is Izuku of 1,000 Elements. As he would say this, so you're trying to hurt an innocent little girl just because she has enough power to basically, rival Rated Shogun, and not only that, is, quite beautiful, in fact, he would basically say, as Kujou Sara, after hearing this, she would say, oh my god, I can't believe he actually said that I'm beautiful. She would basically start singing in her mind. She would basically start singing in her mind, basically blushing, like, visibly blushing, as one of them would say this. Oh, come on, guys! We have, the advantage. I mean, he's just, just one person. We're just, wait for a second. There's 4 of us, and we're easily going to beat you. As one of them would say this. Boss, I think that's a bad idea, as you would say this. Oh, shut up, you damn, let's just say cat. So, one of them would say, yeah, we can easily beat him. As Izuku would just look at them as he would say this. Are you really? As after saying this, Izuku would snap his fingers. After snapping his fingers, a large dragon made out of, hydro energy mixed in with, electro energy would basically appear. The fangs of the dragon would start glowing purplish as the electro energy is basically flowing through it, as you would say this. Now, Girin. After saying this, his arms would basically, be put forward towards the gang as the large dragon made of electro and hydro energy would rush towards them as it slams into them, causing them to be electrocuted thanks to the water, basically conducting the electricity, as they would start, getting shocked and tased, as the leader would start running away, as he would say, fuck it, I'm not fighting him, as he would basically start to run away, and yeah, let's just say he's going bye-bye. So, after doing all of that, he would look towards the rest, which are currently knocked out, as he would say this. I'm really sorry about that, Miss Kujou Sara, but even though you're my enemy, I wouldn't want a person to be, unconsensually, forced to do intercourse. As she would say this. Yeah, thank you. She would start to blush as she would say this. Oh my god, he's actually holding my hand, she would basically say in her mind. As Izuku would say this. So, are you okay? Did they do anything to you? As she would say, I'm sort of fine. I mean, one of them did hurt my wrist, so... As Izuku would say this. Let me just... As Izuku would basically, use his hydro vision, or at least his hydro vision powers, as he would start to heal her, wrist. Which is now turning back into her, palish color now. As she would say this, thank you. How can I, as Izuku would say this, and if you're asking to, let me prepare, I meant, let me prepare, how do I say this? Wait for a second. Just like, give me, like, something in return. No thank you. And trust me, I'm not really that type of person to basically, make deals with anybody. And by the way, try not to tell anybody about, this whole incident. Especially Raiden Shogun. As she would say this. Sure. She would say, as she would say this. Hey, Izuku. Izuku of 1,000 elements. As he would say this. Yeah? As she would say, can you at least come, closer to me? As she would start, poking her fingers together. As she would say, sure. As she would say this. Good. Then, can you lean a bit closer to me? As he would say this. Sure. What a weird request. He would basically start to think in his mind. As she would say this. Now, I want you to close your eyes. After hearing this, he would say, sure. After closing his eyes, Izuku would start feeling something soft and supple on his lips. After opening his eyes, he would see Kujou Sara basically, in his face, but more specifically, kissing him. After basically, feeling the kiss, he would basically say to himself, what the fuck just happened? As Izuku would just, just be in shock, as she would say this. Yeah. Izuku, I sorta like you. She would basically laugh a little bit, as Izuku would just say this. As he would say this. Like, sort of, like, awkwardly, as you'd say, as she would say this. What, are you not really into that type of thing? I'm probably gonna be arrested because of that, because of Raiden Shogun's little decree. Wait for a second. As, after hearing this, he would say, yeah, I guess so, but why did you actually say this? Well, isn't that obvious? You're powerful, and you're absolutely kind. I heard all of those stories during your time in, Leeway and also in Mondstadt. So, I think you're a great hero. He would basically say, I bet she would basically say, as you would say, hero? After hearing this, he would be, struck with a memory. So, we go back to where he was born in, or at least used to be born in. Back in the My Hero Academia verse. He was basically watching All Might, basically fighting off some villains, as, while he was fighting, the, video would end, as All Might would basically give a thumbs up to the, to the camera, as you'd say this. No matter what, you can become a hero, no matter, who you are. He would basically say this. Plus, Ultra, he would basically, just like, pump his fist up, as the villain would just be, under his foot. So, yeah. Sorry about that. Wait for a second. So, after, saying that, not really saying that, but more like, remembering that little memory of his, he would just look at her as he would say, yeah, thank you, I guess. With a bit of a hesitant tone, as you'd say, what's wrong? Are you, as you'd say this, oh, it's fine. By the way, just don't tell anybody, okay? As you'd say this, yeah, I promise, and promise me, I'm no way not gonna tell Kujou Sara, not Kujou Sara, I meant, I'm definitely not gonna tell, her, aka, Mr. Shogun. I mean, what if she does, know about this? She would just execute me. As Izuku could say this. Yeah, definitely. After saying this, she would say, alright, goodbye. As after saying that, Izuku could say this. Goodbye, I guess. And so would basically, go off. So, after leaving the, blacksmithing village, he would arrive back home as he would basically, look at Lumine, as Lumine would say this. Izuku, what is that on your hands? As you'd as she would look over and would see the weapons in his hands, specifically the brand newly acquired, fiery sides, as you'd say this. Oh, these are my new weapons. I think I'm just gonna call them, as you'd say this, Hellfire. As you would basically say that, as you'd say, not bad of a name, but a bit simple, as Izuku would say this. But either way, so is there any announcements or anything of that sort? I should say this. Oh yeah, Kakome, she wants to talk with us, including the rest of the rebellion. As Izuku would say this. Sure. Is it now, or I should say, yeah, now. And so, Izuku would start to follow Min, as they would be, in a large forest with a large table in front. As Kakome is, holding up a map with Goro basically by her side. She would explain that they're going to be doing their final assault on the tower, or at least the large palace of mistreated Shogun. So, she would explain that they're going to be charging in while the rest of the gang, more specifically the main characters like for example Izuku, Lumin, and Goro are going to be acting as their, main attack force. Not really attack force, but more like assassination attack force to basically end Kujou Sara. Ending Kujou Sara's, reign of tyranny. As for, Yoimiya is going to be acting as a distraction by using her, pyrotechnics, more specifically her large-ass freaking explosions, aka, her fireworks, as literal bombs. I mean, it makes sense. And as for Sayu will also act as like a, enforcer as well. Basically acting as like a spy to basically, check out the routes and also, places to where they can escape easily. So after explaining all of that, she would basically, tell everybody to get some, some quality ass sleep so they can prepare for the next day. So they can start the final battle between them and the army of, the army of Raiden Shogun. And so, as everybody is basically, getting ready to go to sleep, Izuku would be in his room with Paimon and also Lumin, as Lumin would say this. So, Izuku, as Izuku would say this. Yeah, Lumin? As Lumin would say this. Well, I just hope you're ready. I mean, this is one of the biggest deals imaginable. I mean, we did some small-time work, like, for example, back in Mondstadt, and then we started going into bigger things, like, during Leeway, but now we're basically in a war. As Izuku would say this. Yeah, in a freaking civil war, to be more precise, but, yeah, it's a bit crazy. After saying this, she would say, yeah. So, Izuku, I hope both of us are ready. And in case of anything happening, I wanted to say, I love you. I love you with all my heart. I just hope you won't get hurt, especially by her. As she would basically, imply, Miss La Senora and, Raiden Shogun, as Izuku would say this. I promise, I won't get hurt by them. And I promise that, she won't, turn me into her damn husband or anything of that sort. And so, after, basically saying that, Izuku would say this. Now, stop being a warrior wart. I just want to get some sleep, okay? I should say this. Yeah, we should probably get some sleep. And so, as she basically leans over Izuku, she would say, good night, my prince. She would basically, say, as Izuku would say this, you too, my lovely little princess. And so, both of them would fall to sleep. So, yeah, I'm gonna be leaving this episode right off here. And so, I hope you liked the video. Comment and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye.